This wouldn't have happened if we would not have voiced the ideology that the process was flawed, that it left community outside of the gates.
Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 o'clock on Local 3, it is back to the drawing board. Aurora police are still without a chief, while the search heads back to square one with community connection being a top priority.
The deadliest hurricane for Florida in almost a century. President Biden is heading there today to assess the damage Ian left behind after making landfall a week ago.
We got them right where we want them, so we got to go get it.
There's no time to panic at all.
Yeah, a dozen players from the Broncos are on the injured list, so maybe a little room for panic, or at least concern. We have an update on the Broncos starters ahead of game day tomorrow. Short week as they try to bounce back from that tough loss to the Raiders.
I hate to second guess the players. You know, if they say no reason to panic, we're gonna get them, then I believe it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to find out tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa Hidalgo, another person I never second guess when it comes to the weather here.
Do we ever see their faces, though, as soon as the camera turns off of them, right?
Right.
We are looking at some really pretty weather here, you guys. This morning, waking up at Rocky Mountain National Park, someone just turned the lights on in Colorado. Did you see that? Flip the switch. Beautiful. Thank you. Lit up that mountaintop nicely. You can see the light snow that we picked up overnight there on Longs Peak. It's going to be a beautiful day, though. More sunshine than not. Low 50s here in town by about 9 o'clock. Low 60s by about noon. And then we're going to hit highs right around 70 degrees today. Denver 68, near 70. A little cooler on the south side of town. Castle Rock, you'll be in the low to mid 60s. And mainly 50s for the foothills today. So a beautiful day, lots of sunshine. There may be a few more showers lingering across parts of southern Colorado, but Jason, that northeastern corner of the state is going to stay dry, and it's even warmer tomorrow for the Broncos game. Details coming up.
Yeah, it should be pretty busy for us yesterday afternoon as well, so I'm not seeing any big problems here across central Denver. We'll take a look at that in just a second, but you can see some of the very slow traffic behind me on the southbound side of I-25. Take a look from the map up that way. So the crash is at the Erie Parkway right in here. So the traffic is heavy from Dacono all the way down there, so about 20 to 25 minutes on this traffic jam. This is the worst of it right now for the north enders if you're making your way into downtown. Then you'll have a 25-minute ride to downtown Denver with some busy areas in those usual spots. 56th and Vasquez, just south of 270. That's where that crash is. The west side of town's been fairly quiet for us. Not seeing any problems out here in Aurora. Just a few of those very typical slowdowns, including coming down from 225.
Well, Aurora police are still without a chief this morning. The city announced both of its finalists are out now, and they're back to square one in their search.
Yeah, the city says David Franklin withdrew his application, and the other finalist, Scott Ebner, did not have enough support to move forward. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live now. And Veronica, the next steps will likely include a lot more input from the community.
And that's exactly what community members hoped for. Days ago, we told you Aurora's Police Oversight Task Force wanted in on that search process, and now it seems that they're going to finally have the opportunity to give a little bit of their input, right? You mentioned those two finalists, one of which we heard just yesterday ended up dropping out of this search process after several conversations with city and community leaders. We know city staff said, you know what, we're just going to stop right here. We're going to start this search process all over again. And of course, like we've told you for days now, this comes after so much controversy. The people of Aurora, they want the top cop in their city to really reflect and represent who they are as a community. And we spoke to someone over at the NAACP who told us right now, this really is all about involving the community in the process.
It's not a partisan issue. We're talking about an American issue. We're talking about a community issue. So it should not even be a fight that the community is involved in the conversation.
And for a little bit more context, we know a city spokesperson told us there were 21 people who ended up applying for this top cop job in a span of 2 months. 7 of those people were either women or people of color.
It's so interesting, Veronica, with that many candidates initially. Do we have any idea if they'll go back to that initial pool as they continue the search now?
And that's the big question this morning. That's what we're trying to find out right now. Is one, Aurora going to be using the same recruitment agency that they used to find those 21 people in that initial pool? And then 2, are they going to be going back to those people? Or are they saying, you know what, let's just start fresh all over again? Guys.
Yeah, thank you, Veronica. Of course, you can watch for these updates on our website, denver7.com, and our free Denver 7 Plus app.
Well, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will visit Florida this morning to survey damage from Hurricane Ian and meet with residents there still reeling from the Category 4 storm. These satellite images show before and after of the widespread devastation. It's unrecognizable, that area. At least 108 people were killed by the hurricane across Florida and North Carolina. The majority, of course, in Florida, where search and rescue crews are still looking for survivors. And now Florida officials say they're making progress restoring power and delivering food and water and fuel to people in need. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
This morning, President Biden preparing to survey damage from Hurricane Ian in Florida. The White House says the president and First Lady will be briefed on the ongoing response to the storm by the FEMA administrator and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a political rival.
There will be plenty of time to discuss differences between the president and the governor, but now is not the time.
Then the first family planning to meet with small business owners and local residents in Fort Myers, a city still reeling from the powerful Category 4 hurricane that first made landfall exactly a week ago. The president visiting a disaster zone where search and rescue operations are still underway in a desperate search for survivors.
There's a lot of destruction. There are a lot of collapsed homes, a lot of debris. A home like this, we would go up here to the door, take a look, call out if anybody's home.
More than 100 people killed by the hurricane in Florida alone, but also incredible stories of survival. The son who swam into the floodwaters to save his 84-year-old mother.
How you holding up?
Crews continue working to restore power. The state's largest utility company pledging to get electricity to all homes that are still habitable by the end of the week. And as the cleanup gradually begins, these satellite images show the before and after of the storm's widespread devastation. A neighborhood gone, a pier washed away. Ian leaving its mark on Southwest Florida. And whole barrier islands were cut off from the mainland by the storm, forcing rescue crews to rely mainly on helicopters. More than 1,000 people were evacuated from hard-hit Sanibel Island alone. Residents there will be allowed to temporarily return to homes and businesses today. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
So as the long cleanup continues in Florida and along the Atlantic coast, you can help. Denver 7 Gives is partnering with the Scripps Howard Fund for hurricane relief. You can make a donation by texting the word storm to 50155 and following the prompts, or you can scan the QR code you see on your screen or visit denver7.com/hurricane relief.
Well, tomorrow is game day, and unfortunately, the Broncos' list of injuries is growing.
Wow, yeah, it's been a rough week after Sunday's loss. Right now, there are 12 Broncos players on the injured list, 2 more on injured reserve, which means they are out for the season. Quarterback Russell Wilson is one of those on the injured list with a sore right shoulder, his throwing arm, but he says he is definitely playing tomorrow night because he wants to win.
I think every game has a history of its own. You know, you can worry about all the things ahead. What I do know, there's a lot of teams that are 2-2. There's a lot of teams, you know, there's a handful of teams that are 3-1. And we're right in striking distance. We got them right where we want them. So we got to go get it.
There's no time to panic at all, I feel like. I mean, we just got to make sure that we locked in. We to 500 right now and got to make sure we get to 3-2. And one thing about this league, you just got to stack wins each and every week.
Russell Wilson's smile isn't hurting. It's still going strong. Positive always. Reminder that you can watch the Broncos-Colts primetime game Thursday night over on Denver 7. Our pregame coverage starts at 5 p.m. Kickoff is just after 6. And then stick around for the big postgame show right after. And the football weather for those going to the game looks pretty good, Lisa.
Yeah, even if you're not going to the game, you're going to have some great patio weather today and tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. By lunchtime, 60s today. We'll hit highs right around 70 and then drop back down into the low 60s closer to dinner time. We're going to take a closer look at our forecast for tomorrow's game coming up here in just a few minutes. Pretty calm out there, though, right now, Jason.
Yeah, for the most part, we're not seeing any huge problems. We do have this one over in Commerce City on that northbound side of Vasquez right here at 56. There's Sand Creek right there. So the right lane is blocked. minor delays. You see these folks that are turning, the turn lane is blocked, so they have to go over here like they would be going west on 56 and then make that right turn, so that's a little inconvenient. But otherwise, we have a big crash up to the north side of town. I'll show you that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, if you've been holding out for the right time to buy a car, that's going to be hard to find. Brace yourself for sticker shock, how much longer car prices will be higher than normal.
And are you a seat recliner, or what else do you do on a plane to make yourself comfortable? We're breaking down some of the top rudest in-flight behaviors.